How's it going, everyone? We got a crazy update today, version 16.5. It's one of the biggest updates we've had in a while, and we've had some big updates lately. We got the brand new XL and Thermometer Islands, basically removing that memory bar. I know everyone's been hoping and wishing for this since like day one of creative. It is finally here. We now have support for 50 player teams. This is also crazy. Not only that, we now have 200 channels. This is insane. And they added some crazy settings to the conditional button. I'm going to show you guys. This is actually almost game changing. Also got some crazy new leaks, and we also got some information on the Llamatron and mannequin device. So don't go anywhere. Let's get started. Before we start the video, you know what to do. Please hit that like button and subscribe. These update videos are going to be structured a little differently. At the start of the video, I'm just going to show you all the new things. I'm not going to go into great detail of them, just real quick so you can see. And then after that, I'm going to go in each new item, explain how to use them, and show you in-game examples. I just don't want to waste your guys' time. I don't like my time getting wasted. Anyway, we got all that out of the way. Let me show you the update. All right, so the first thing is they actually added some new menu options in creative. If you guys select creative and press play, you guys will see there's now a discover and a my games option. Discover, this used to be called island code, and this is still where you're going to go to enter in an island code, but they actually added some more features. You will now see there's popular, AV8, role playing. You know, some of the sections they have in the hub are now right here on the main page. I'm sure they're going to be adding more. This is actually really cool. I am a little nervous because this is almost making it so you don't really need to go into the hub. So we'll just see how this plays out, but still, this is brand new. So let's just give it a chance and see how it evolves. The other thing they added was my games. If you click my games, you'll see your recent islands you played, and then you can check out your favorites if you marked them. We can check out the brand new XL and Thermometer Islands they just added. I will go more in depth on these islands and how to use them a little later in the video. Now, the save device came out a few updates ago, then they disabled it because it had some stability issues, but it was re-enabled again recently, but the stability issue patch wasn't pushed until today, so the save device should be working. Don't quote me, I haven't tested it, but it should be working now. They also added some really cool settings to the save device. You can now save the player if their eliminations were lower than the previous save point, or if it's higher. This is really cool. This is going to open up a lot of things for this device and for our maps. Next up, they gave us 50 player filtering options on all devices that have team settings. You can now filter through 50 teams. That is insane. Even crazier, we now have 200 channels. Oh my goodness. This is just insane, and honestly, we need this many channels, especially with these new islands where we're going to have a much bigger map we can build, and we're going to need more channels. They've also added a bunch of new resources. You'll see we have duct tape, a power cell, blast powder, batteries, bacon, adhesive, resin. This is very cool, and you're going to see why this is important in just one second. They've also added key cards from Fortnite BR. This is also really cool, and I'm going to show you why in 1 second. Bear with me. You can see I already laid out all the world resources right here. I've also laid out all the key cards, but quick note, I just want you guys to know this. There is a little bug, and it is known by Epic already. When you're in creative and you put the key cards in an item granter or an item spawner, you won't be seeing them, but if you start the game, they will show up. And lastly, for this quick portion of the update, they made some huge changes to the conditional button, and most of it pertains to crafting systems. They made it so much easier for us to craft stuff. Like I said, it's pretty much game changing, especially for these open world maps. They've added some even more text options, so if you don't have an item, it will specifically tell you what item you need to find. There's more visual options now on this device too, and you can even have up to 3 different slots in items that it will filter before it will let you interact. You can see here this conditional button, I have it set for 2. Later on in this video, I'll show you exactly how to use this. And one of the coolest features they've added to this is key card direction. I don't know if you guys remember this in BR, but now you guys see how we get this little direction graphic. This is really cool, and this is a great add for user experience. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to set this up in a minute, but that's kind of it for the quick update section. If you guys aren't interested in the deeper dive on this update, I understand. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully hit that like button before you leave, and I'll see you on the next update. I think they left, guys. Hey, they're not going to find out what the leak is or some of the new little secret settings they added on some devices. What losers. All right, let's take a deeper dive into the brand new spatial thermometer islands and exactly how it all works. Definitely a little different than what we're used to. So regular starter islands work by loading everything into memory and keeping it there all the time. With the new way of managing memory, XL islands will only use memory to hold things that are seen and used. It removes unused or unseen props and geometry from memory. As players move around the island, the system only loads things into memory that the player can see and interact with. The spatial thermometer breaks an island down into a grid of cells. Each prop you place has a memory cost that affects the area around it within a specific radius. When you place a prop, its memory cost is added to all the cells around it from which it can be seen. When you add a device into the island, its memory cost is added to all the cells in the island. Devices always need to be loaded in the memory to operate and can't be swapped in and out like props. That's because devices affect players no matter where they are on the island, and you don't want them to stop working when players get too far away from them. When you place a proper device, the memory usage is shown by a colored circle around the item when you are previewing it before placing it. The colored circle shows how placing the proper device will affect the memory in that area. The new XL islands use two methods to let you know how much memory you've used: the cell memory usage bar and the heat map. The cell memory usage bar is at the top middle of the screen. When you place a prop, the cell memory usage bar displays memory usage for the cell with the highest memory use within the range of the spot where you place the prop. This shows the highest effect that placing the prop will have on memory use nearby. If you do not have a prop in hand, the cell memory use bar will show values for the cell with the highest memory cost of your island. For the heat map shows you a color-coded representation of the cells on your island. You can see this information in the mini-map for the cells nearby. My face cam's covering that. Or for the whole island, you can open up the map screen. You can kind of look at the example in the center of my screen here, how it looks, and it's all gonna, depend on what you're putting in your island. The colors on the cells give you an idea of the amount of memory that each cell is currently using. The blue is you're not using any, green is 25%, yellow's 50, orange is 75, red with an exclamation point is like 90%. You're very close to being over budget. And then if you have a padlock on the cell as 100% memory usage, and you are over budget. If you have reached the memory limit in any cell of your island, cells will have a padlock icon on it. You won't be able to place more objects in that cell area. You need to reduce the memory usage for those locked cells before you can place any more objects in that range. You also won't be able to place devices anywhere on the island until the memory usage is reduced. I do want to make a special note as well. You will not be able to start your game or publish your island until you have reduced the overall memory usage enough to unlock the cells. So locks are bad. Make sure you guys remove some of those items and get rid of that lock. Get that memory usage down for that area. I know this was a lot of information real quick. I actually pulled this from the Fortnite creative documentation site where you can get detailed descriptions of all the items in the games and all the settings and how they work, or you can even get some detailed instructions on how to make certain game modes and stuff. It's a really cool documentation site. I'll put the link in the description. All right, now let's talk about the new settings they add on the conditional button, and let me show you guys how to kind of set it up so you guys can start doing some crafting mechanics yourself. So the new conditional button, let's just interact with it. I'll kind of go over it really quickly what they just added. They added interaction time. Now this is cool. We've seen this with like the button device. Basically, it's how long someone has to interact with the device before it will signal. They've added use color for hologram. This is really cool, and it's just kind of more of an aesthetic and kind of more personalization, how you want to use the conditional button. Something they've added here as well is missing item text, which this is actually pretty cool. Basically, if you set it up and you only have 1 or 2 items and you need 3, it's going to tell you that it's missing. And if you actually keep this text inside these braces, I think that's what these are called, it'll actually tell the player what the item is they are missing. So be careful deleting that. But if you just reset all, it'll go back to normal. We have some new options on the hologram, what to show. Basically, if you just want to show the key items, or you show both, or only the unknown keys, you can mess around with that. Here's what the big thing they added here with the conditional button. The device now supports up to 3 items items simultaneously. You will select how many keys are required for whatever mechanic you're trying to make. You select 3, you'll see it right here. They'll pop up each 3. And now you'll see you'll have 3 options for each key and how many items are required. You have a bunch of different increments for each, or you can actually just throw a stack in there and get exactly how many items you want. You don't even have to mess around with that. That's also pretty cool as well. Another really cool thing they added is show key card direction. I'll show you an example how to make this work in a second. And if you come all the way down here, you'll see when not enough items transmit on, and that's really cool. You know, it kind of coincides with this missing item text as well you'll get, but basically it's just another way to make your game more immersive and tell the players, hey, you still need to look for that item so you can upgrade or whatever you need to do. All right, now that I showed you guys the new settings on the conditional button, let me show you guys actually how to use it with some in-game examples. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be using the new key cards. And basically what I'm going to show you is how to set it up where a player is going to need to find a key card to unlock a door. Very, very simple. What you're going to do, just grab any door, doesn't matter. You're going to need a lock device. Just throw it on the door, just kind of in the area. You don't even have to have this be seen. I am going to have it be seen just for this example. We want it to stay closed. Visible, you'll turn that off. It doesn't really matter, or you can have it on if you want to use it. Starts locked, and then we're going to unlock it from channel 3. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the conditional button and just place it near the door. Obviously, you're going to make this look a lot better. And I want to be very clear. And I think this is where a lot of people have issues with using the conditional button. I even had this issue once before. So make sure in your settings under My Island, you go down to infinite resources and you turn it off. If you have it on, it thinks that you have all these resources already, right? Even though you won't see them in your inventory, it thinks you have it. So it's going to work. So trust me, this is where a lot of people get hung up right here. Make sure that's off. Then go into your creative menu under consumables. You know, let's find a key card we want to use. It doesn't matter. Just dropped one because I already had one in my inventory. Perfect. Then how I'm going to set this up, I'm going to turn it to green. I don't know why. I'm going to use the hologram. Yes, you can change the interactive text if you want. This again is going to be up to you. Remain unlocked after activation. I'm going to keep it off. We're only going to need 1 key, and number of key items, we're just going to need 1 for this. And key item required 1. It's going to consume it. All key items once this all doesn't matter for this. Show key card direct. Now we're going to want to keep this on yes because they added this new direction graphic that basically it's from BR, but it's in creative now, and it's so cool. And select when activated, transmit on channel 3. Basically, if we have this key card and we interact with this, it's going to unlock the door. All right, now let's just place an item spawner and drop a key card in there. And remember, like I said earlier, the key cards won't show in this, but once you start it, it will. So we're going to go up to the door. It's locked. It won't let us unlock it. Missing item authority key. We'll try. It won't let us. Oh, again, remember we kept the text in that bracket. It's telling us exactly what we need to unlock, which is very, very cool. We need this authority key. Pick it up. Now, when we interact, it's going to unlock the door. Very simple mechanic, but again, very, very cool. What I love though is this graphic showing us exactly where we need to go. As long as you're holding that key card, it'll tell you where you need to be. Very, very neat. All right, now I'm going to show you guys how to use the conditional button to set up a crafting system. Basically, we'll use some of those resources, and if we gather all those resources, we can spawn in a special weapon or whatever you want. And let's just set it up real quick. What we're going to do under devices, grab your conditional button, place it down, interact, select whatever color you want, interact, or you can put mechanical explosive O. I'm going to show the key, number of key slots. Let's say 2, and we're going to need 2 key items required for the first key, and we'll just say 3 for the second. We want to consume, and we want all items required at once. You guys can set it up how you want. You can set it up to hologram. It doesn't matter. That's going to be your preference. So I'm going to set it up to when activated on channel 1 and when not enough items transmit on channel 2. All right, now we need our items. Go under consumable. So we're going to be crafting a mechanical explosive bow. So let's use blast powder and some mechanical parts. And so I'm going to put mechanical parts in there and blast powder. Now what we need to do is grab an item spawner, Copy these settings. You don't want respawn on. I turn visibility off. Turn this to never. This to also never. And then spawn item on 1. Now let's put our mechanical bow in here. So now we have that set up. Next up, what we're going to want to do is add a HUD. And this is basically going to say when someone interacts with it, if they don't have all the items, it's going to tell them to keep looking. Put this HUD message to triggering player. Make sure you turn time from round to off. This is all preference. Sound, that's all preference. Where the HUD's going to be, that's all preference. And then I'm going to show on 2. Now what we need to do is in your island or wherever you're crafting, you're going to want to also set up a way for them to find resources somewhere in the island so they can craft. What we're going to use is just some item spawners. The item spawner settings are going to vary depending on your map, but just for now, I'm just going to turn time before first spawn to instant because I want to show you how it works. And then I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to add those resources, just going to throw them in. All right, let's check out the mechanic. Let's start it up. All right, so see, we set it up to hologram, so we don't really get to see the device, which is cool. This is gonna make your game way more customizable. You can customize the button how you want it to look. I love this look. It's very cool. It's telling us we need these items to unlock. When I interact, you don't have all the items dummies. See, we set it up, so it basically tells us you can't do nothing. All right, now let's grab 3 barrels and 2 mechanical parts. 1, 2, 3. Now we have 2 of those. We interact with it and it allowed us to pick up the mechanical bow. Woo, yay! You can add another HUD as well, saying you unlocked, the mechanical bow if you'd like. That's going to be up to you. This is a really quick, just small tutorial on how to use the new settings with the conditional button and how you can craft your own things. Lastly, they added some new settings to these devices. You interact with the item spawner. You can actually now filter by gold. This is pretty cool. On the matchmaking device, they added a code override cooldown. So if someone adds a code in there, it's going to take whatever increment you set before someone can enter another code in. So that's kind of neat. And also something I wanted to add real quick was that the new conditional button can now be triggered by a sequencer device, so that is cool as well. All right, you guys, so that is it for the update. Hope you guys learned some stuff. As promised, I'm gonna go over kind of what was leaked. I get all my leak and news information from the Fortnite Creative News and Leak Twitter. I'll put a link in the description. You guys can go follow them. It's a really good way to stay informed on all the new stuff. So you guys, this is huge. The new glass gallery got leaked. You guys, this is insane. I know we've all been asking for this. I'm in awe and I cannot wait for this. This will be used so much. Oh, I really just hope they're not a bunch of memory, but you guys can see it here first. We're also going to have different color options. You can change the glass to different colors. This is so cool. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Llamatron device and the mannequins. If you guys have gone into the hub today, you actually can see the Llamatron and the mannequins in use. They're very cool, but I actually have bad news because they aren't going to be released for the public. Maybe not ever. It looks like it's going to be certain activations or collabs with companies or something like that for the hubs is what these are going to be used for now, but it could change later on. Let's hope, because I want these devices. They're so cool anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this update. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because as soon as I get creative news, I'm going to inform you all. So hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.